Saying that the United Kingdom is dying has become kind of trendy. You see it online all the time, especially from Americans, but also from nationalists in Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland. But there may be some truth to it. What's changed? England. England has changed. With the decline of the Conservatives and the rise of Reform, countries like Wales and Scotland have also begun to consider the possibility of the United Kingdom breaking in the near future. Now, obviously, they already have independence movements. The SNP in Scotland have been in government. They even had a vote on leaving the UK 10 years ago, and it failed. And in Wales, the Nationalist Party played Cymru, did very well in the recent regional elections, and they do want independence, although eventually they think that it'll take a long time, like 10, 15 years or whatever. But polling in Wales have also shown that over a third of people now want to be independent, and that's a big deal. Northern Ireland, there's still a majority that want to be part of the United Kingdom, but the part that would vote for reunification with Ireland has grown slightly over the last couple of years, especially since Brexit. So, why would reform change any of this? Well, there's a recent article in The Guardian that I'd like to read to you guys here now. Celtic nations begin to plan for breakup of UK in event of reform election win. The rise of Nigel Farage has prompted political leaders across Ireland, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and Wales to game the unthinkable, the breakup of the United Kingdom. Unionists who wish to save the Union and nationalists who wish to end it are bracing for constitutional turmoil if Reform UK emerges triumphant, with Farage as Prime Minister or official leader of the opposition after the next election. Representatives from each side believe a Farage led government could trigger a hasty referendum on Irish unification and usher in Trump style anti immigration crackdowns that alienate the Celtic nations. The possibility of a strong reform opposition or coalition spooks the nations just as much. It is conceivable that, in just a handful of years' time, people on the island of Ireland will be looking across the Irish Sea to a country where ICE like snatch squads are arresting people off the streets, said Mark Drakeford, the former First Minister of Wales, for Labour, referring to the US Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. Drakeford, who has repeatedly said he would fight to retain the Union, worries that politics in Britain has irrevocably changed and fears there may not be time for a considered debate about the UK's future if Farage reaches Downing Street or reform significantly boosts its number of parliamentary seats from the 8 it now holds. That's in Wales. The United Kingdom is a voluntary association of four nations, and in any voluntary association, there must be choices that people can make to stay in and choices that people can make to leave. The former Welsh Labour leader made the warnings last week at a conference in Belfast organised by the Social Democratic and Labour Party, during which figures from across the UK and Ireland voiced concern about the risk of being bounced into a vote on Irish unification. Ireland's Justice Minister, Jim O'Callaghan, said Dublin should begin to preparing for unification rather than wait for English nationalism to set the timetable. The future may not go down the predictable pathway of discussions and harmony, he said. Irish leaders think the UK's annual subvention for Northern Ireland, estimated to range between 6 billion and 20 billion, could become a rallying cry for Farage, similar to the Brexit era claim that the EU cost Britain £350 million every week. Wait till he sees our bill, said Claire Hanna, the SDLP leader. I think if English nationalists really dive deep into the resources that Northern Ireland requires, that could become a political football, a political problem. Making predictions about the future is impossible, but it does seem like Reform UK could potentially alienate the other three countries of the United Kingdom to the point where they start looking for the door, or at least they start looking for the door more than they already do. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. It's not news at all that nationalists in those three countries want to be independent. But what I think is notable about this article is that it actually discusses Labour in Wales, Mark Drakeford, who is a staunch unionist. He wants Wales to be part of the United Kingdom, but he's still ringing the alarm bells. You know, he's saying, "Hey, we might be going down that path of no return." And another indication that that's happening is Fine Gael in Ireland. So Fine Gael is one of the main two political parties in Ireland that are currently in government. They're kind of pragmatic when it comes to Northern Irish issues. They're not Irish nationalists, not at all. and they're probably the least likely party to embrace a united Ireland. I think that's fair to say. It's low on their agenda. But they recently announced that they are creating a plan for a potential united Ireland in the future, right? To try like lay out a blueprint for if you want. And why are they doing that now? Well, arguably it's because they see what's happening in England and they're going, "Oh shit, what if we end up with a border poll in the near future in Northern Ireland and we're not prepared for that process if it did pass," right? Because again, these are not people who would be pushing for a united Ireland, but they're also like pragmatists, right? They don't want to be caught off guard. And they're not in control of the situation, right? I mean, England is, the English people are, not Ireland. I still think the breakup of the United Kingdom is unlikely to happen. I mean, it's a union that survived 300 years. It survived worse situations than it finds itself in right now. And there are a lot of people in Wales and Scotland who, and Northern Ireland, who simply don't want the union to break up. But it does seem like it's becoming more possible. And the irony of it all is that it could be ushered in not by Welsh nationalists, not by Scottish nationalists, not by Irish nationalists, but English nationalists, the people who vote for reform.
I hope you enjoy a few pints with the lads tonight. Up the Ra!
Now, of course, reform has voters in Wales and Scotland, and I'm sure some supporters in Northern Ireland. But primarily, they're kind of English driven, English focused, right? They don't think too much about the rest of the union. Ask anybody in Wales and Scotland. I mean, they already feel kind of neglected. Now, obviously, if reform does have that impact on the state of the union, it would be unintentional, right? I mean, they don't want the breakup of the United Kingdom. They might purposely cut off Northern Ireland and be like, hey, they're dead weight economically, politically. They cause us so many problems with the European Court of Human Rights, the EU, the sea border, all things like that. And it's not like reform voters really give a fuck about Northern Ireland, right? I mean, people in Britain don't think about Northern Ireland very much. But there is agency in the union. Like it's not like reform will be like, hey, I want to kill the union. It'd be more like he would bring the union in a direction that people in Wales and Scotland and Northern Ireland are unhappy about. And I think if you're a unionist in the United Kingdom right now, you should be worried about the potential for a reform government and the impact that is going to have.